Hey, Baconator here, back with some footage over here in Kankakee, kind of an open day event here held by Mirror Tactical, and we're getting to play in this kind of abandoned kind of warehouse kind of thing. So a lot of nice close quarters combat here. We're basically having an R-band side and a non-R-band side, but it's kind of got a dual purpose of, I think it's a kind of like a haunted house here, and then it's also an airsoft field. So, unfortunately, my GoPro cameras here, they just kind of decided not to record sound for these first few games. So, I am just going to have to fill in for just a bit of the audio here. So, as we get over here, you can see I'm just kind of clearing the corners here. Just trying to make my way here. It was a little difficult moving around. But because I do not have any audio here, I'm going to make the BB noise for you. Pew, 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 pew. Alright, I'm not really going to do that, but I will kind of put some music in here and put some commentary just to kind of help kind of fill in the fact that there's no noise. Over here I notice this far flank here is pretty open. I'm able to take that guy out. As soon as I do, I just make a hard push here and just get to the flank of everybody. Unfortunately, that guy that I kept shooting at, and I'll slow it down here, that guy over there, he just was not wanting to call his hits, as you saw in that slightly more slow motion replay of the area there. I didn't really kind of fight for it. Turns out this player just was, for pretty much the rest of the entire day, he was just not calling his hits. But thankfully it was really just one guy doing it. It's kind of nice when it's all isolated to be one bad player there and everyone else plays honorably and fair. And when you play like this, you get out a lot, but you also get a lot more action, and you're able to get more people out as well. So, you know, we're just kind of going here, fighting rough and hard. And this is kind of the fighting style that I really like. A lot of this close quarter combat stuff. Really high intense adrenaline. Unfortunately, I was playing around with my GoPro settings. Besides just the sound, I also kind of put it into a more narrow field of view, which unfortunately really kind of, for some of the games, just really kind of hurt the view. Like, you can't even see what I'm looking at. And I'm using that strobe light there just to slightly disorient people. And I'm not using a kind of any fancy kind of auto strobe or anything. I'm actually just hitting that pressure switch and kind of flashing it on and off there. During the second game here, we got to switch sides. Fortunately, none of the footage really gave this place justice. It was very dark, but this was definitely a really cool place to play at. And here you can see the problem with my camera. It's just really just giving a lot of good shots of the gun. I will have to say the Surefire that I have here, which I think is a 300 lumen flashlight, it's just not bright enough for this kind of, you know, half daylight, half dark. So that's just kind of, you know, when you hear, you know, 200 lumens, 300 lumens, you know, in a place like this, I think 1,000 lumens would have done me a lot better. And I'm also using the flashlight as a bit of a tracer to help kind of see where my BBs are going. You know, I'm definitely seeing why tracers are very popular. And if I would have had a little more hindsight, I would have bought a tracer and some tracer BBs for this kind of environment. Just because the way how it goes from light to dark, the dark spots make it really hard to see your BBs, even though they're white. And this is what a lot of it is just getting shot out, playing aggressively, and going back to your respawn and just rejoining. So here you can definitely see this kind of, I want to say it's almost like a boiler room. I'm not too familiar exactly what a boilers are, but it kind of has that look to it, with kind of the furnaces there. This was also a good opportunity for me to actually use my PEC box with the laser on it. And I mainly was using it just to kind of point out to certain areas for my teammates so they could get a good idea of where I thought the enemies were, or my opponents. And I wasn't pointing them at anybody and stuff. It's a safe laser, eye-safe laser, but in general, I like to use lasers just to kind of point out general areas, not to actually use them to aim. That fellow that you saw us walking out to the left, we eventually over the day we kind of teamed up more, and we kind of played together just to kind of help, play as a team. And you can actually see my little laser there, but play as a team and just kind of work together. It's always kind of, instead of always trying to find random people and try to work with them, trying to buddy up with someone is always kind of nice, especially if they're about equal skill level to yourself. I'll have to say this lower floor was, compared to the other floors, this was probably my least favorite, but it definitely was still very fun area to play with. Now here we are on the second floor. Definitely like this floor a lot better. Kind of played out more, I'm going to say kind of loosely. The bottom one was kind of more arena kind of setup, and this is kind of more of what I would expect at a Milsim event. So, two different tastes and things. This one had a lot more rooms, a lot more hallways. I definitely had a lot more fun with this one. I'm going to go here in the bathroom. I'm going to always check all the little rooms in here. Just that rare case of, one of the other teammates was able to get there, just to make sure we didn't get snuck up on. Now I'm changing my magazine here a little early. My 416, first game it was working okay. Second game, this is when it started giving me troubles. This 416 has been a bit of a pain. I've done a few, I've swapped different hop-up buckings and stuff like that, and right now what I've done is I'm using the stock one. I'm not using my max one anymore. I'm using my stock VFC one, and I just trimmed the lips a little bit on my bucking, and that has done a great job of fixing my problems so far. And I also swapped off the nozzle for a max nozzle. So that has a double O-ring, so a little better compression, and then it's also going to work a little bit better. And this was kind of my more favorite areas. This kind of more open, well-lit areas. And I can hear my food beeping off in the distance, so I apologize if that beeping noise is being picked up right now. That concludes the game footage I have here. This hopefully, I think it's this one, maybe some more game footage. I have no sound on it, so hopefully I got everything condensed. At least this one video which has no sound, and then the rest of them will have some sound, so I don't have to talk as much. You don't have to listen to me. You can just enjoy the game footage. And this is Baconator. If you enjoy this video, feel free to like it and go ahead and subscribe. We have several more game videos here coming up. So, Baconator here, signing off.